And just last week, the Celtics showed some old championship form as they seemed unstoppable against the New York Knicks. While everything seemed to go wrong for the Knicks, the Celtics were running on all cylinders, setting playoff records and sending the Knicks home, down, and almost out. As the series shifted to another Garden and New York facing elimination, the Knicks looked to their offensive machine to save them. The franchise, Patrick Ewing, exploded for 77 points in 2 games. And a once confident Celtic team saw their commanding lead slip away as the Knicks tied the series, showing some Garden magic of their own. Welcome to Boston for the decisive Game 5 between the Celtics and the revived Knicks. Get set for another Garden party. It's the NBA playoffs on CBS. Boston Garden is packed and the fans are ready for the 5th and deciding game of this first round Eastern Conference battle between the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. The winner today will meet the Detroit Pistons, who are waiting in the wings in one conference semifinal, while the 76ers and Bulls will begin their best of 7 tomorrow night. And good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. A week ago, no one ever dreamed that we would be here for a 5th game, not after the Celtics humiliated the Knicks in game number 2, but the Knicks came back, as you know, and the 2 facts that will not go away are the fact that the New York Knicks have not won in Boston Garden for 26 straight games, and furthermore, only 2 teams in history have ever come back from a 2-0 deficit. Very big obstacles indeed. But the Knicks are confident because they won those 2 games at Madison Square Garden, and Hubie Brown explains what the keys were behind New York's success to even the series.
The first key has been the Boston turnovers. 21 in game 3, 26 in game 4. Second, we have Boston ball pickup in feeding the post people. Try to pass in when you have a mismatch below the foul line. Here you'll see on the ball pickup, the passing lane is too long of an area. Now that enables the Knicks defense to front and gamble, causing the turnover. The third is in the offensive rebounding. In the early games, Boston dominated on the offensive boards. Here, only 5 and 11 in games 3 and 4.
All right, Hubie, that's the story of the Knicks' 2 wins. What's the key in today's 5th game?
I think Robert Parrish must step up and somewhat neutralize Patrick Ewing. In games 3 and 4, Ewing 38 points and 16 rebounds. He's the guy that's making them bullish. Now, Oakley and Ewing, can they stay out of foul trouble today? Big drop-off if the Knicks go to their bench. Now, for the Boston Celtics, transition defense. They cannot allow Newman, Wilkins, and Cheeks to get the 2-on-1, 3-on-2 situations.
All right, Hubie. Well, since Larry Bird came to Boston, the Celtics have lost a deciding game only 1 time. We'll see what happens today. Sit back and enjoy Game 5, the NBA on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1990 NBA playoffs is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. B.F. Goodrich TA Tires, the athletic shoes for your car. And by Miller Lights, Tour de Light, the race to win America's favorite light beer.
Garden, where the Boston Celtics have been so successful in deciding games, but the Knicks are going to try and come from behind and advance to go against the Detroit Pistons. Celtics have other ideas. And right now, for the starting lineups for this deciding game, let's go to the public address announcer, Andy Jick.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Boston Garden for today's 5th and deciding game in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Now let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the New York Knicks. At guard, in his 12th season from West Texas State, number 1, Maurice Cheeks. At the other guard, in his 5th season from Tennessee at Chattanooga, number 21, Gerald Wilkins. At center, in his 5th season from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. At forward, in his 5th season from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. At the other forward, in his 11th season from UCLA, number 55, Kiki Vandeweghe. And the head coach in his first season, Stu Jackson. And now, for the Boston Celtics. At guard, in his 14th season from Pepperdine, number 3, Dennis Johnson. At the other guard, in his 3rd season from Northeastern, number 35, Reggie Lewis. At center, in his 14th season from Centenary, number 00, Robert Parrish. At forward, in his 10th season from Minnesota, number 32, Kevin McHale. And at the other forward, in his 11th season from Indiana State, number 33, Larry Bird. And the head coach in his 2nd season,
Jimmy Rogers, coach of the Celtics, will be back. They're the banners. From the 3rd member of our team, here's Tim Brandt. Tim?
All right, Dick, one of the major problems this morning for the Knicks and Stu Jackson was whether he would have his guard, Gerald Wilkins, here. Gerald was down in Chattanooga, Tennessee with his wife, who was in labor. They gave birth to a 7-pound baby girl this morning, Jasmine. He drove immediately to Atlanta, flew here, got to the hotel at 9:15 this morning. Just talked to him. He says his main thing now is he's got to focus on the game and calm down, but he says he's ready. Dick?
I bet you his adrenaline is going to carry him through this one easily, Hubie.
Now, that's exactly what he said. He said he's on a high, and he can keep it up for the big 48 minutes.
Celtics in white, the Knicks in blue. And we're underway, and we're going to jump it again. The officials working in this game 5. Darryl Garretson, Jake O'Donnell, and Mike Mathis. And it's going to be Celtics ball and a violation by the Knicks. Hubie, you talk about the officials, and of course every group officiates a different way, but the Celtics have to be banking on the fact that they're going to get some calls.
Well, there was an awful lot of yelling and screaming in games 3 and 4 that the Knicks were manhandling the Celtics underneath in the painted area. Well, each game has its own personality because of the 3 guys who are calling it. So the first 5 to 6 minutes are going to tell a big story here today.
Well, you talked about turnovers, 26 of them in the last game, and Boston does it right off the bat here.
Well, the Knicks have really been given a lot of different looks in games 3 and 4. Baseline picks for Patrick.
Ewing, who scored 10 early points, misses the first shot of the game. Celtics doubled him, but doubled him late that time.
Well, let's see if they go into their power game. McHale, Parrish.
Bird. And the rebound by Oakley gets hit. And we say that only because it's an indication that the officials may be letting them play. Double on Parrish, leaving Dennis Johnson open. The Celtics will try to find him today.
Well, we all know for years and years and years, everyone says we're going to double off at Dennis Johnson. His guy will be the designated double teamer, which is Mo Cheeks. We're going to see that again today. And then what happens in game 7? Dennis Johnson usually answers the bell.
Every time, almost. Quick double with Lewis helping out on Ewing, and Gerald Wilkins hits the jump shot.
Well, if I'm Stu at the other end with the Knicks, I'm happy because Ewing is attacking. He is not playing passively once he catches the basketball. See, they're trying to get him in deep today. Up here in games 1 and 2, they felt that Patrick was getting the ball too far off the lane.
They post up Dennis Johnson against Mo Cheeks, and Robert Parrish way off the mark. And Reggie Lewis crashes the boards for the Celtics. He was a key man late in the regular season when the Knicks played up here, and he could be a key man again.
Well, he's the guy who, without any passes and any set plays, can honestly get you 25 to 30 because of his style of play.
McHale is on Vandeweghe, and Vandeweghe hits. Don't forget, Kiki Vandeweghe and Johnny Newman will just about split the time at small forward because of Newman's effectiveness against Boston.
Well, Stu Jackson said that he's waiting for Vandeweghe to have a hot game from the outside.
Parrish. The Knicks won't mind parachuting from there.
No, but you see what I like? I like the strategy of the Celtics. They're going right into Robert Parrish, and they're saying, Chief, you know what? We're going to get you off offensively, and for that, let's see some shot blocking and boards at both ends today.
Charles Oakley from the top of the key hits. And, of course, the other thing is that they want to see if they can get fouls on Oakley and or Ewing early. Wilkins overplaying Lewis.
And Jimmy Rogers wants patience today.
There you saw Cheeks, the designated double teamer, come in, rebound by Oakley. Knicks want to use their quickness. Oakley throws it away. Tied at 6, 3 minutes gone by. First period. McHale.
You can see the difference in the teams. The Knicks fast break is quickness of foot. The Celtics, they come down, they try to get numbers on you. They're move the basketball.
Charles Oakley left open. Ewing with the offensive rebound. And they're going to call the foul, a loose ball foul against Patrick Ewing.
See, that was kind of tough. Parrish did block Patrick out. Patrick was behind him. Now, in a game like this, you want that body contact to be okay today. No cheap fouls.
That was a borderline. Larry Bird doing something he hadn't done in the series, going in for a shot. Crashing the boards. That's something different from Larry Bird.
Well, I like what I'm seeing here today. Bird's taking it all away and then dropping it off within 3 feet of the basket. And also the Celtics everyone is crashing the glass.
Vandeweghe loses it. So right now the Celtics are doing it at both ends.
Now keep an eye on this shot to the right of the screen. You're going to see Oakley hit the deck that time. Now he was tangled up with Dennis Johnson. Dennis caught him with a forearm, put him on the floor.
And now the Celtics turn it over.
See, this is an issue that we brought out early in the tape at the top of the show. The long passes and feeding the post people. The Knicks have been able to force turnovers, and we just saw it right there.
Knicks played their most intelligent game of the season in many views. There's Ewing. Looked like he was trying to pass the ball, but the Celtics are stopping the passing lanes. And now Parrish turns it over, and so unusual that we've already had 6 turnovers in this game.
That was an excellent pass, Dick. A beautiful drop-off, should have been a dunk.
Ewing posting up. Cheeks finds him inside. Double team with the guard Lewis. Vandeweghe. Rebound by Reggie Lewis. So that's how the Celtics are double teaming Ewing at the early start.
Well, they're getting to Patrick quick today.
Good pass from Parrish to Lewis. Rebound by Wilkins. Cheeks is down court.
There's your advantage.
And there's Wilkins, one of the better open court players in this game.
Anytime that the Knicks get a rebound and kick it out, the fast break is there. 3-on-2, 4-on-2.
And the break and the pressure in the backcourt are all meant to wear down the Celtics in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
But Bird is having a field day driving the lane so far.
Well, you know, it's out of character in this series because he's taking it all the way down.
Wilkins with a jumper, and Gerald Wilkins with 6 points. Celtics by 2, nearly halfway through this opening period. Dick Stockton with Hubie Brown and Tim Brandt here at Boston Garden. Another great feed. Dennis Johnson to Larry Bird.
When you play Bird on the baseline, you cannot turn your head and lose sight of the basketball. And that's exactly what happened there.
Ewing calling for the ball at the post. There's Lewis with the double. If you double, the open man has to hit the shot, otherwise you're in trouble. Dennis Johnson drives in, blocked by Ewing. And it's still Boston's ball.
Outstanding effort by Patrick Ewing. He came from the other side of the lane and came across. Now watch down on the baseline. You'll see Vandeweghe lose sight of the basketball. A beautiful catch and a great pass, threading the needle.
Each team was embarrassed once in this series, and including the Knicks' 27-point victory in Game 4 with Ewing's playoff record performance. Right now, here's Tim Brandt.
All right, Dick, during that timeout, the officials came over to the Knicks and Stu Jackson and warned them about the players keeping their elbows too high. Part of that reason may be because of Paul Silas, a Knick assistant. You know, he played here in those 2 world championships, 74-76. He told his players they had to be more aggressive than they've ever been against this team here in the Garden. Dick?
So far, the Celtics have been doing it with inside play. They've outscored the Knicks 10-2. There's Paul Silas, one of the better offensive rebounders in the history of this game.
Well, let me just tell you, any rebounder in the NBA is going to test that conversation to the hilt, because if you are going to block out and give as much height as the Knicks are giving the Celtics, you must keep your elbows up and widespread in a big stance. And there's the guy in the picture right now, Charles Oakley, who is going to test this little warning.
They've had a problem with the clock, and now it's adjusted. 5:48 to go in the first quarter. Bird goes right around Ewing. Larry Bird told us yesterday that he was going to be more offensive-minded. There's a foul as well, and he certainly has come out this way, but not with the outside shooting as you usually find.
See, what I like about his game today, you'll see he just crosses over and takes Ewing. No rotation by the Knicks. Too late that time. Now, what do you like about Bird's game today? Well, as you look at the season, you know, Larry Bird only averaged 4+ foul shot attempts during the course of the year. That is unnatural for him. He's usually up around 8 attempts per game. And it's nice to see him attacking because more things will develop for the Celtics.
Misses the free throw. He had hit 46 in a row in deciding games. Johnny Newman is checked into the Knick lineup, replacing Kiki Vandeweghe, who couldn't handle Larry Bird. Newman has had explosive games here at Boston Garden. Gerald Wilkins. Cheeks is left open.
Success today for the Knicks. Gerald Wilkins and Newman beating their men off the dribble, taking it all the way, or pitching back to the open man.
Newman scored 24 points in Game 4 victory. Dennis Johnson. Newman has a shot deflected by McHale. Giving up a lot of height. Larry Bird hits the 3. He's cooking. And a timeout called by the Knicks. Biggest lead of the game here with 4:43 to go in the first period. The Celtics in Boston Garden have won the big one all but one time. In 1982, they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers. You remember when the ghosts were exorcised, Billy Cunningham's Sixers won. But every other time it was the Celtics winning. And they're leading here and currently on a 9-2 run. Here's Tim Brain.
During that timeout, Stu Jackson was telling his team, this is not a fair game here, so you've got to answer the pressure with intelligence. You've got to look for good shots. We're not taking good shots. We're not moving the ball crisply. He kept saying intelligence. They're going to make their runs. We have to stand up, maintain our poise, and play with some smarts. Dick?
Larry Bird has scored 9 points. McHale is guarding Newman. Bird is defending against Charles Oakley. Newman now runs into Parrish and a Boston foul, and that's the first team foul against the Celtics in this game, and it'll be against Robert Parrish.
Anytime that the Knicks stick to their half-court offense where they're using a lot of movement, there is no way that Larry Bird can stay with Johnny Newman when Newman is running, say, 10 to 15 feet, making a catch and putting the ball on the floor.
Newman has had some big games, including a career-high 34 in the playoffs against the Celtics. He likes to play here, but more than anything else, he has the advantage of the matchups against Boston.
Well, he feels that he'll just attack, take the people off the dribble.
Here's the Knicks with some pressure, and they're trying to get some time off the clock as Boston tries to set up.
They've been very, very successful with this. Getting them out of their offense.
McHale from the corner here. That's the way to do it.
Yes, I would say so. The corner jump shot is always open. It's a matter of can that person knock it down for you.
Parrish already has one foul, and Ewing throws up an air ball. He hasn't scored yet. Oakley tips it in for the Knicks. Charles Oakley, who came back and started his first game this week after suffering a broken hand. Big foul.
You'll see the Knicks really working hard here. Charles Oakley making his presence felt.
Gerald Wilkins with his first, third team foul against New York.
Jimmy Rogers, he said he wanted patience today, good shot selection, and they'll be able to get the job done.
Double team on McHale. Looking to get a foul on Ewing. Instead, Ewing gets a piece of it. And Oakley saves it to Wilkins. 2-on-2 now for the Knicks. Then they go into Ewing against Harris. Blocked inside. And Ewing, this is the layup. He's still scoreless.
What a great pass by Charles Oakley.
Bird driving the baseline. And Newman gets it out quickly, but a foul against the Boston Celtics.
Now watch this move by McHale, trying to split it. Nice block by Patrick Ewing. See, both centers are really extending themselves defensively and challenging every shot.
3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Great feed. Oakley from Ewing, and that's a play that worked effectively in Game 4.
Well, anytime that Oakley passes the ball in to Patrick Ewing, the man playing him, whether it's McHale or whether it is Larry Bird, they are immediately turning their back and going down for the double team. Oakley is cutting to the basket, and he's getting that return pass. That should be a major part of their offense today.
Jim Paxson will come in replacing Reggie Lewis, who has picked up his second personal foul. And Oakley is on the line already with 6 rebounds. He discarded the cast on his left hand the other day and has made a big difference for the Knicks since he moved into the starting lineup in Game 3. This is the first time since we've gone to the 5-game format in 1984 in the first round that the Celtics have been in a deciding game. Right now they lead it 23-18, under 3 minutes to go in the first. Paxson guarded by Wilkins. Working against Cheeks is Dennis Johnson. Here's Cheeks pushing it up for New York. Going around Paxson, looking for the foul. Not there. Good defense by Paxson.
Well, Cheeks was definitely muscled on that shot. You know, he looked quizzically at Mike Matheson, wanted the shots.
Bird is fouled. And it's on Charles Oakley, his second personal. Would you say in the early going, as we take a look at this, that the officials are letting him play?
They are definitely letting him play. Here's a good move by Bird. A bad foul by Charles Oakley. You do not want to pick up any cheap things. You were beaten off the dribble. Don't reach in and complicate the situation.
Oakley goes out of the game with his second foul, and Kenny Walker, who's playing with a bruised sternum, has checked in. Walker hit the big shot in the waning moments of Game 3. Not known for his scoring. He's in there for rebounding and defense.
I asked Kenny how he felt, and he said that he's having trouble breathing today. And naturally, you know, that spot in the sternum, it's an vulnerable area, and he's going to get popped there as soon as he gets into body contact.
Celtics had a 9-point lead. It's down to 5 now. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson with a fake pass. And DJ now with 6 points. Into Ewing, triple team on Patrick. And Patrick Ewing with his first points of the game, and it comes with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Far cry from Game 4, where he scored 10 in the first 2 minutes and 33 seconds of the first quarter.
One thing we know, every game has a different personality. Johnny Newman, and that will be the 5th team foul against the Knicks. They're in the penalty.
Coming into the lane now. Watch Johnny Newman put Bird right on the floor. No blood that time, so there was no foul. Right?
Larry Bird, who missed his first free throw today, already with 9 points.
In the early going, Dick, the thing that I like, if I'm a Boston Celtic coach, is that the guys are seeing the mismatches, getting the people the basketball where they can take advantage of it, and then they do have the patience, and they are getting the high percentage shot.
Robert Parrish sits down, and Joe Klein, who, look at that, 13 of 14 field goals this series. That's basically not what they're looking for. They want him to use that big body and muscle inside to give Parrish a rest. Celtics by 7. Cheeks is open. Johnson runs at him, and Mo hits it again, and it's a 5-point game again.
See, Gerald Wilkins told me before the game he feels that he can make something happen if they have nothing, and he has done it twice already. Beat his man off the dribble, kick the ball out to Cheeks.
Line with Walker, and they'll call the foul on Kenny Walker. Knicks have been in the penalty. The Celtics still have 1 foul to give with 1:22 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, Joe Klein, 7 foot, 270 pounds. Kenny Walker has given up not only the weight factor, but he's giving up size. Joe can muscle you and also hit that turnaround baseline shot on that right box.
People go back to the deal that the Celtics made last year when they traded Danny Ainge and they got Ed Pinckney and Joe Klein. Pinckney was a starter for a good part of the season, at least halfway before McHale came back. But they've gotten great dividends from Klein as a backup center.
Well, where else can you give up a guard and pick up 2 frontline people at 7 foot and 6'10", and young players?
Up to 7 again. Celtics have led all the way in this quarter, and now Larry Bird has committed the foul, and that is the 4th team foul.
You'll see this now. Watch as Walker goes to post up. Bird's playing him on the top side. You see, now the referee on the baseline said that he not only got a piece of the ball, but he got a piece of the arm.
Interesting, they call some fouls, let him go. Others they call really borderline. That's the way it goes. Ewing on the baseline, only his 2nd basket. He started with 22 in game 1 and has gone up point-wise in the series.
Well, Jimmy Rogers said he's impossible to stop on that side of the floor when he catches and spins to the baseline.
Oh, left-handed layup by Bird in traffic.
And how about the fact that Ewing did not go for the shot clock that time?
13 points for Larry Bird in this first quarter. Johnny Newman. Bird the rebound. Celtics looking to match their biggest lead. And there's Joe Klein, blocked by Ewing. Knicks on a fast break. 3rd block by Patrick. This is a 3-on-2, and Wilkins travels. They have the 3-on-2.
When you get that advantage, you should always get a layup. You do not want a jump shot in a situation, and the second thing that you definitely do not want is a turnover. You want at least an opportunity to score.
John Bagley will give Dennis Johnson a rest. Big hand for Johnson, who goes out with 6 points, to no one's surprise with a good first quarter. Playing for the last shot. Foul with 1.7 seconds to go. A loose ball foul, and it's against Johnny Newman, his 2nd.
Keep an eye on Larry Bird and watch how he splits the double team here. See, that was beautiful. See, that's what I meant. Gerald Wilkins on Larry Bird. He's giving him at least 5 inches, 4 to 5, and that's what you must enjoy about the Boston Celtics offensive presence today. They are seeing all the mismatches, and they're delivering the key pass.
Ed Pinckney, the other man in the trade, along with Klein for Danny Ainge, and Larry Bird gets a hand as he gets a rest here. A good move by Jimmy Rogers, because the Celtics have had their way with the Knicks here in the first quarter. And Bird has had a big one indeed. McHale. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, but going to the hoop in a way in which he did not in the 2 games at Madison Square Garden. Kenny Walker. Long pass to Ewing. And it would have counted had it gone, but it doesn't, and that's the end of the first period. here at Boston Garden. Larry Bird leads the way, and the Celtics lead the Knicks 32-24.
90 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body thirst. Schick, official razor of the NBA. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
And welcome back to Boston Garden, where the Celtics lead 32-24 after one period of play in Game 5, the deciding game of Round 1 here in the 1990 NBA playoffs. Coming up later, another Game 5, Phoenix and Utah, coming up from the Salt Palace. Hubie, how do you look at it?
Well, I think that if Kevin Johnson for Phoenix has a hip pointer, then I would say that, you know, the Utah Jazz have an excellent opportunity of advancing. In order for Phoenix to be at the top of their game, they need his penetration, but also his ability to get 25 points.
There's Gerald Wilkins talking with assistant Ernie Grunfeld. So it'll be Wilkins starting out with Mo Cheeks, Johnny Newman, Patrick Ewing, and Kenny Walker. For Boston, it's Bagley and Paxson at guard. Up front, Bird, Parrish, and McHale.
Well, defensively for the Celtics, they've done an excellent job on Ewing. He only has 4 points to date.
5 on the shot clock. Ewing misses the rebound, and it's still Knicks ball, but the Knicks turned it over. So that Boston outscored New York 5-0 as a result of the turnovers. Far cry from Game 4.
See, Ewing is looking for the foul on that spin move. Robert Parrish is bodying up to him and then extending his arm and getting a piece of Ewing right around the elbow area. So far, it has not been called.
Wilkins, who scored 6 along with Oakley to lead the Knicks, goes out, and Trent Tucker. Good outside shooter. This will be a 2-point shot, and it's good, but Tucker underway. That's the other guy Stu Jackson wants to see get going, besides Vandeweghe, is Trent Tucker.
Well, Trent's a little cold these days, but he's playing excellent defense and picking the team up.
Newman is guarding Bird. Tough matchup for Johnny. Paxson. He had Ewing in his face. Parrish gets the offensive rebound and counters. And Ewing was down court. The Knicks are simply too small defending there. Cheeks goes in to Ewing with the pass and a foul. And now they call it.
And here we have working in the low post area right now. Now watch Parrish. You see how he went elbow to elbow there, disrupted Ewing's shot. Ewing immediately went right to the referee and said, "I'm getting banged."
3-second violation called against the Knicks.
See, without Charles Oakley in the game, you can see the Knicks are hurting on that defensive glass.
Double on McHale. Parrish comes in and misses inside. The rebound by Ewing. So far, Ewing has scored only 4 points. Walker. And a loose ball foul called against Trent Tucker of the Knicks. You could hear Trent say, "What?"
Yeah, but
all the way over here.
Trent put his body on Jimmy Paxson, knocked him back 10 feet.
Charles Oakley's going to check back in. The Knicks are going to need his muscle inside. And Kenny Walker goes out.
Now, the reason why Oakley is so big here, because he is on Robert Parrish and has done an excellent job in games 3 and 4, keeping him away from the offensive rebounding.
And traveling call against McHale as the designated double-teamer Cheeks came in to help Patrick Ewing. There's the turnover story. It's even so far. But offensive rebounding in Game 3 and the turnover advantage.
3 minutes to see if they continue to run Bird in that curl situation, because they can get whatever they want. They can get him on the penetration off the dribble. They can get him for that little baby jump shot. And then after that, they might even get him on some fades to the corner.
26 straight games at Boston Garden. Celtics have beaten the New York Knicks, trying to become only the 3rd team in history to come back from a 2-0 deficit in a best-of-5 series. 7 on the clock. There's a good feed. Newman tipped up and in by Charles Oakley, who else?
What a move by Oakley. Newman was inside of him and thought that he was going to get that offensive rebound.
21 points for Oakley, playing his best game of the series. Bird again in traffic. Cheeks is fouled by Dennis Johnson. Let's see what the call is on that. Right now, let's go to Tim Brandt. Foul is on DJ. Tim?
All right, Dick, quick observation. That last time out, it was all business and strategy in Boston's time and Boston's huddle. But here with New York, it was more emotional, more of a pep talk to the young players. He was telling his players here in New York, this is your moment. You're 9 minutes from Detroit.
Tim, you know, that's an emotional team the Knicks are. They're younger. Celtics have been down this road so many times before. An illegal defense called against the Celtics, and that'll be a technical foul. That's the second one today.
Now watch as Newman takes this shot. Here comes Oakley up over the top of Newman. Excellent effort.
Jimmy Rogers, who was looking for patience offensively today and has gotten it in spurts.
The zone call that time. Kevin McHale is asking Darryl Garrettson over here on the side, where was I supposed to be, or what didn't I do? Darryl had great patience and explained it. Now, when you think about it, it's only the second call all day, and they're double and triple teaming. They've been rather lucky.
Yeah. Newman made the free throw. 4-point lead. Oakley drives in, and it's 97-91, and the biggest lead right now for the Knicks with 8:13 to play.
See, we said anytime Oakley throws in and cuts, he's wide open.
Foul away from the ball against New York. And 5 for Newman.
Now watch as Oakley puts this ball in here and he cuts. He catches Bird, and there he goes strong to the basket.
Johnny Newman, though, has picked up his 5th personal foul. Will return to Boston Garden.
Way back to Boston. A reminder that coming up later, Game 5 of this opening Western Conference round of playoffs between Phoenix and Utah. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown. Injuries casting a bit of a cloud over to two of the game's biggest stars. Karl Malone of the Utah Jazz suffering from a deep groin pull. We'll find out how much his activity is limited around the basket. For Phoenix, their spiritual and floor leader, Kevin Johnson, suffering from a painful hip pointer. They will start. We'll find out how effective they are coming up in just a little bit. Now let's send you back to Boston for that Boston and New York series. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown.
Hubie Brown, we've got a big decision here for Stu Jackson because Johnny Newman just picked up his 5th foul. There's the time, and there's the score.
Well, here are your options. You leave Newman in, you have 8 minutes to go. But you know that he's matched up with Bird. He could foul out on the next possession. Now, you'd like to bring in Kenny Walker. Kenny Walker has an injury to his sternum, so that takes away a major option. Your third option is Kiki Vandeweghe, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Try to buy 3 to 4 minutes here and then bring Newman back with about 4 or 5 to go.
And you know that Bird's going to be going after Kiki Vandeweghe as well.
Well, at both ends. The Celtics have been going to Bird. The Knicks have been going to Ewing. Go to your pressure people and make it happen.
McHale double team. 13 on the shot clock. Parrish in the low post. Dennis Johnson is wide open. Nothing surprising there. Dennis Johnson with 14 points. And you know, when he scores around 15, normally that strategy fails because he's hitting it.
Absolutely. Because then what happens at the end of the game, you fail the double team because you want to stay close on him. Let's give him his due. He's knocking him down.
Ewing. Parrish defending. That was good defense that time by Robert Parrish.
Look at the Chief, the old Chief. Running
down the court. Reggie Lewis goes in. And they'll call the Knick foul as Ewing hits the deck. And it's on Patrick, his third.
Now watch as Patrick turns, how the Chief gets right up there with the closest arm. A lot of players in that situation try to block it with their right. But you get up in there with that left arm. That's what Robert's been doing all day. He's close to Patrick, and he's applying a lot of pressure.
At the conclusion of our game, Hubie and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game, and in conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in the player's name to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Lewis is 3 for 7 from the line today. Knocked away. Good defense. 3-on-1 fast break. Taken away by Maurice Cheeks. And this is going to be a 2 for Oakley.
Big play.
Boston, good defense, one end. They miss a 3-on-1, and the Knicks now lead at 99-93.
See, you can't get bent out of shape. The Celtics wanted a foul. New York wanted a foul at the other end. Right? That just canceled out. That's why at this time in the game, you just got to play, baby.
Lewis over Tucker. Other than the free throws, Reggie Lewis is having a terrific game offensively with 15 points.
So uncharacteristic of the Celtics. They break the league record, 83+% on the foul line. And today, it's been their Achilles heel.
Bird even missed one. There's a turnover, knocked away. Celtics. Bird. That time Vandeweghe played him nice off to the shooting hand. Nearly halfway through the final quarter. 4-point lead New York. Won't let Tucker get off the 3.
Plenty of time there. Just take your time.
Tucker fires. Misses the 3. Long rebound. Parrish. The Celtics aren't exactly walking it up.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Kevin McHale has not really been included in the offense in this half. Down low, like right here. Let's make things happen.
Dennis Johnson. Say, if the Celtics win this game, Dennis Johnson's got to be right near the top for being responsible. Timeout. New York. And the lead is cut to 2.
But you know, when your designated double teamer is Mo Cheeks, Dennis is open. Now watch this from the rear. There, they just knocked that ball away. Tucker, and then presence of mind, look down the floor, get the easy dunk.
Now this is the performance of Dennis Johnson in Game 7s at Boston Garden. You wonder why anyone ever says, let Dennis Johnson beat you, because invariably he does.
Well, you know, everyone looks at his shooting percentage over the year. He shot 43% for them. We know for a starting guard, that's not a high percentage. But he has that ability to rise under pressure. You can't stay in this league 14 years and do what he has done as a point guard at Seattle, in Phoenix, and in here, and get the respect of your peers unless you contribute big at pressure time.
He has hit 6 of his last 9. Johnny Newman, though, back in the game for the Knicks. Stu Jackson can't wait anymore. Newman playing with 5 personal fouls and still 5:20 remaining. But the Knick lead has been cut to 2. Was 6. Double team McHale and Parrish on Ewing, and Johnny Newman gets free again.
Just go back over the game today. How many layups? Oakley, Newman, any cutter that goes through, they're wide open. But let's give Patrick credit for delivering the pass.
5 minutes left. A Knick foul on Trent Tucker. That is the 4th team foul against the Knicks. One more there in the penalty.
See, now watch as McHale comes. We call this big man, big man. That opens up either Oakley or the slice man. That time the slice man, Reggie Lewis.
There you go Lewis, and double him in a hurry. Parrish. Lewis found him despite the double team. 101-99. The Celtics, by the way, have 3 fouls to give. That could be a factor down the stretch.
The thing with the Knicks, you want to keep your movement.
Ewing. And it's a 4-point affair again, and Patrick Ewing has 28 points. So it looked like his offense was going to be less than it had been, but 28 points, that's what he scored in game 2.
First time today to jump hook in the lane. First time.
Bird beating Newman to the baseline. Misses the shot. He misses the jam, and now the Knicks leading by 4. Cheeks gives the Knicks a 6-point lead. When was the last time you saw Bird miss one of those?
Yeah, well, from now to the wire, Larry's got Newman on him in foul trouble. They go in there anytime. Newman knows he cannot foul him unless he wants to leave this contest.
Loose ball. Lewis. Tell you, Reggie Lewis is having a terrific game. So both Boston starting guards. 17 for Lewis, 16 for Dennis Johnson. Cheeks again, and Cheeks again. Maurice Cheeks with another jumper, and Mo has 19.
What's Stu say? He gives you IQ on the floor. He doesn't talk much. All he does is demonstrate to everyone else.
8 out of 10 from the field for Cheeks. Dennis Johnson passes up the shot with 10 seconds on the clock. Bird. Rebound by Charles Oakley. 14 for Oakley.
See, Mo Cheeks is yelling, go, go. He's trying to put, but the two big guys who are working, Ewing and Oakley, are really tired.
Newman for 3. A big one. Johnny Newman with a 3-point basket, and the Celtics trail now by 9, and a timeout called by Jimmy Rogers with 2:51 remaining.
Excellent ball movement, and then we're seeing some people not afraid to take the long downtown shot.
It has come up big in every big game at Boston Garden in his 11-year career. But this was an unfortunate one right here for the Celtics.
Well, this is a great quick move. As he comes up on the opposite side, he misses the dunk. Now, we know that that's a part of what's going on, but their transition defense in the last 3 minutes is really killing them. The Knicks are getting the odd number.
Right now, Tim Brandt. Timmy?
Dick, one of the big concerns in the New York huddle that time was Patrick Ewing. He sat in this chair, and as he sat down, it just gave way. He fell and almost got hurt. He banged his head on the floor, but he's back up and everything's all right. Now, Stu Jackson's just given his team a lot of reminders. Remind them to run to the ball, hold it, and get it back. Right now to you, Dick.
There's the timeout story. Boston with 2. The Knicks have 2 plus a 20. The lead is 9 with 2:51 to play. Biggest lead of the game matches the Celtic first quarter lead. Look at Maurice Cheeks, 6 for 6, as the Knicks have shot 72% in the second half.
Boston must get down inside, run their power, because on every foul from now on, they're in the penalty. They're shooting the penalty.
11-4 run right now by New York. 10 on the shot clock. Knicks have really clamped down defensively outside.
They've done an excellent job in pushing them off the block.
Dennis Johnson. Rebound by Charles Oakley. That's 15 for Oakley. Now the Knicks are in no hurry.
Now, see, when the Celtics shoot and miss, it's just amazing. It's jumping out at you. No second shot opportunities.
26 straight victories for the Celtics against the Knicks at Boston Garden. 2 minutes plus away from being a race final. Here's Oakley. Nearly threw it away. 1 second. Ewing hits the corner. And you got to know something when that happens. That's an omen.
Well, we knew that Oakley knew that as he threw the ball into the corner, right?
A 14-4 run by the New York Knicks, and some of the fans are starting to make their way to the exits.
Watch how he picks this up. The bench is yelling at him, shoot it, shoot it. And not only does he make it, he makes a 3. Look at Stu. Come on, Stu. Will it in.
First-year head coach Stu Jackson, and illegal defense called against Knicks. That's the first. 31 points for Patrick Ewing. Only the Fort Wayne Pistons back in 1956 and recent vintage, the Golden State Warriors in '87, have come back from 2-0 deficits to win a best-of-5, and even Red Auerbach masks what's going on. Lead is 12 for the Knicks with 1:45 remaining in the fourth period. Coming up next, the Suns and the Jazz for their Game 5 in the West. And a lot of the fans are making their way to the exits as the Knicks, who are a minute and 45 away from a tremendous triumph in a series, coming from behind against the Celtics. And you know, Hubie, when the Knicks didn't get down after that 9-point deficit in the first quarter and came back, I think they grew up in a lot of ways in that sense.
Well, I think the key was how strong Patrick Ewing came out in the third quarter, and then how it was picked up in the latter part of the third quarter by Mo Cheeks.
That's why they got him. Lewis. Robert Parrish. 22 points for Robert Parrish. The lead is 10. Just about a minute and a half to go. And the foul, Johnny Newman will go to the line.
See, if you're the Knicks right now and the Celtics extend the pressure, everything is in your favor because you're quicker at almost every position other than maybe Reggie Lewis. So what you do is you get it in and you just don't sit on the basketball. You keep forcing the tempo because that's what's taking you here to this lead.
Newman hits the free throw. In the regular season, the New York Knicks lost all 4 games to the Detroit Pistons after last year playing very well against Detroit. And that's going to be their next opponent if New York maintains the lead here with 1:29 to go. It's an 11-point lead. And the Boston Celtics have used their last timeout. Here's the Knick huddle moments ago. Stu Jackson.
Down here, okay? Stay in 51. Straight 51, all right? Make the extra pass. Now, the only way we can lose the game is if we give up threes, which we won't. The other way we can lose it if we don't come up with the defensive rebound. Don't think about going out on the break, Johnny. We don't need a fast break. I need you in there to blast. We're going to get a hand that ball. Let's take it out.
Red Auerbach.
Well, Red Auerbach made a great statement yesterday. He said any kind of a coach, if you're any kind of coach, you get your team to think about today. Streaks and things like that mean absolutely nothing. He says you must be.
Help the Knicks in the games in New York. So far, a different story. Tucker. Parrish gets the rebound. He's a different player today, by far.
He's alive today, Dick. Knicks missing an awful lot of open jump shots.
McHale driving in. And, you know, the Celtics have also missed a few layups that could have widened their lead even more than the 8 they have right now. Ewing setting a screen for Tucker.
It's a good 2-man set here if Ewing can get in deep.
Ewing feeds Oakley. They doubled him, and Oakley ran around the baseline.
Well, Oakley's man is leaving him and double-teaming Patrick. They're going big man a lot today.
You know, the Celtics' assist total is pretty high, and that's a good sign because it shows the ball movement that Jimmy Rogers is looking for. Parrish puts it in on Paxson's miss, and he's camped in underneath. Knicks push it back. Newman off the glass.
I tell you, since Sam Jones of the old Boston Celtics, I've never seen a guy bank the ball in from that angle so far away from the hoop.
Bird picked up. It was a pick and roll. Ewing picked him up nicely. 7 on the shot clock. Knocked away. 3 seconds now. Bird fires from 3. Tipped away, and it'll be Knicks ball, but the Knicks played that half-court defense as well as they've done in this game.
Doing an excellent job. Keep an eye on Ewing now. Watch him going into the triple team and yet being able to deliver the pass beautifully. Well done.
Well, Larry Bird, who was injured last year, says he's feeling a lot better these days.
I think that I feel better now than I did. I thought I was going to feel. I thought I was going to have a lot more problems this year, so I'm excited about being able to do the things that I did this year, because when I came back from surgery all the way up to training camp, I still had a lot of pain. And once we got started and going 2-a-days, I thought, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through a season or not. But all of a sudden, they started feeling really good. Earlier in the season, I was trying to get it back too quick. I was forcing some things, but as I settled down and as I started thinking about it over the All-Star break, I came back and shot the ball better, but I still have trouble making a move and having a lot of confidence in my shot. And the way I play the game is if my shot's going, everything else comes real easy.
Well, he has shot 5 for 8 so far, and there you see the top active playoff scorer, Larry Bird. But yesterday he was nursing a jammed thumb on his shooting hand that was heavily wrapped after practice.
Yeah, and we said to him, you know, what about the shooting, Larry? He said, look, I could shoot over 52% if I wouldn't take so many threes. I'm only shooting 33% from three-point land this year.
Reggie Lewis in the backcourt. Joe Klein in also for the Celtics. Illegal defense called against Boston. That's the first one. So Klein and Parrish are in the lineup at the same time.
I like that move because Right now, Boston has 7 offensive rebounds already in this game. When you look up, you see they only have a 6-point lead, so you know they want to continue this banging in here.
McHale on the bench with 5. Ewing comes in again. Patrick Ewing got off to a slow start, but now he has scored 6 points, has a bundle of blocked shots, and becoming more of a factor.
If the Knicks will just take care of their defensive rebounding and then push the ball, force the transition game, you know, they're going to be all right here today.
There's a turnover, and the Knicks have it. Down by 4, can cut it to 2 with less than 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. And Johnny Newman doing what he likes to do here at the Garden, makes it a 2-point game.
Asked him yesterday, what do you try to do? He said, I love to go baseline. I love to attack the rim. And he said, I've been able to do it in the Boston series.
Nearly another turnover. There are those long passes. When can you tell whether the fatigue factor could be starting to play on Boston?
No, not right now. The pace has been a Boston type of a pace, Dick. But I think if the Knicks will keep it up, it would happen in the last 6 to 7 minutes of the ball game.
Go behind Bird, so now Boston's turned it over twice in a row. Knicks are in a position to tie this game. Trent Tucker is open for a 3 or better, and it's better, and New York leads for the first time today.
See, Trent has come in, hit a couple of long perimeter shots, playing good defense on Reggie Lewis. He's given him a shot in the arm.
9-0 run by the Knicks here to take their first lead. Larry Bird misses a 3, Ewing the rebound, and the Knicks have all of a sudden taken over center stage in this one. They were down by as many as 9 in the first quarter. They go into Ewing. Good fake on Parrish.
Nice.
Rebound by Oakley, and he converts, and Jimmy Rogers has to call a timeout.
That was the first time today, Dick, that we've seen Ewing not turn and throw that fadeaway jump shot. He's showing excellent moves. Now here we go now, into pass inside. Now this is the high, they call that the up and under move. Get that defensive player up in the air, step underneath him, and make your strong move to the basket.
What does Jimmy Rogers do to adjust? We'll find out when we come back after these messages. Hubie Brown, 11-0 run by the Knicks right now to take a 3-point lead. How does Jimmy Rogers try to stem the tide?
Well, first he looks at it and he sees that they are only 2 for 8 from the floor. Plus you add in 3 turnovers, which are allowing the Knicks to get out and get into the transition game. Now, in the first quarter, we had the Knicks in transition, but the Celtics were back, and they were playing them well, and they would double-team Ewing quick. But in this quarter, what we're seeing now is that they are breaking them down off the dribble, Dick.
Tim Brand.
Dick, the Celtics' main concern right now, as you guys have talked about, has been the aggression, the attacking now of the Knicks. So they're trying to move the ball more rapidly. They're trying to move it to one side, get Dennis to drift to one side. They want shorter, crisper passes.
That's the story, Tim. You're right on the money there, because Jimmy Rogers says shorter passing lanes, more assists. Meanwhile, Kevin McHale is checked in for the Celtics along with Dennis Johnson. So he's going to his starters again, Jimmy Rogers. Bird has it blocked. That's 4 by Ewing. But it's Larry Bird on the recovery for 15 points now.
Not only was it blocked back to Bird, but he never put the ball on the floor. He had the presence to keep it up because he knew if he put it down, Ewing would have been right on him.
And the throw pass, Oakley was muscling inside against Larry Bird. So we know that the Knicks, every time they're down the court, they look for either Ewing or Oakley on the post-up.
Playoff basketball, you must be able to get the ball to your key people in their pet areas. And we're not seeing that this quarter for the Celtics.
I was about to say that might be a force for Reggie Lewis.
Maybe a teens out of his range, but he knocked it home.
Boston regains the lead by 1 over New York. 5:45 to go in the second quarter. 7 on the shot clock. Trent Tucker with a runner and banks it in. But he really has given the Knicks a boost offensively with 7 points off the bench.
Listen, you know it's going your way when you make a shot like that. Come on, Dick.
Hey, they all count. Lewis, great feed to McHale. There's Chris passing inside. Now low into Ewing. Oakley. They ran that 100 times, and now it's starting to work for them again.
See, any time that Larry Bird is on Oakley, you know that as soon as Ewing makes the catch, Larry is leaving Oakley and going. And I like what Ewing is doing. He is picking out Oakley right away for the easy layup.
Dennis Johnson with Parrish setting a screen. Oakley the rebound and a foul. A loose ball foul against the Celtics.
Here we have now. Watch the penetration. Patrick steps up. Beautiful dish there by Reggie Lewis.
Robert Parrish has chalked up his second personal foul. Team fouls of 1 and 1 here in the second quarter. Johnson on Cheeks. Again against Parrish is Ewing, who takes too many steps. A big hop there after he had already dribbled.
See, that's a tough angle, I think. You pass the ball from the top of the circle to a guy who's to the left of the lane. When he makes his catch, you see, sure you can't double team him, but he's at your mercy because of the angle.
Celtics maintain possession at the other end. Ewing has 6, and Charles Oakley with 12 points. Stu Jackson told us yesterday, he says, I'm as excited as the players here. I'm not going to be cool about it. I'm not cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, to be in that stance that he was just in, he's unconscious a little bit.
Larry Bird. Johnny Newman talked about how tough it is guarding Bird because he's got a million moves. 17 for Larry Bird. Game on a seesaw, back and forth. Boston by 1. Oakley against McHale. And he drew the foul. It's against McHale, his first.
Yeah, Jimmy Rogers is all upset. See that? He doesn't want any body contact to be called a foul here today. Now watch on this pass inside. Johnny Newman trying to give different looks on Bird, but Larry knows that he can shoot over the top of Johnny any time that he wants because of the size differential, plus the fadeaway jump shot.
Oakley only 56% from the free throw line in this series. One of the weaker free throw shooters.
You know what's nice today, Dick? The Knicks are finding him when he's open, and then they're having the confidence to give it to him and let him take his man. Now you say, why is that a big deal? So that he'll continue to work tough for you at both ends of the floor on the boards and take the punishment.
Mark Jackson, the forgotten man, has averaged only 9 minutes in this series, with Mo Cheeks playing over 40. Newman tried to gamble against Bird. Rebound into the hands of Tucker with 3:40 to go, and the score tied at 44.
See, stop and think in this quarter, Dick. How many second shots for the Celtics? Very, very few, and that's the difference.
Plus, they've missed a lot of inside shots, even when they had the lead in the first quarter. Johnny Newman. McHale. Do you think this pace favors the Celtics right now, or not so much?
No, not so much. I think that it's good for the Knicks because Ewing is able to stay on the floor right now, and he can continue in this pace and possibly give you 44 to 45 minutes today.
McHale picked up his second foul. Here are the leading scorers. Oakley also the leading rebounder for the Knicks. Lewis coming down to double team on Ewing. Cheeks misses. And it's tipped in by Ewing, and it might have been Parrish.
That one was up for grabs.
I think Robert Parrish tipped it in for the Knicks inadvertently, and it gives New York the lead. Boston led by 9 in the first quarter. The Knicks came back on an 11-0 run to take a 3-point lead here in the second. Lewis, basket counts, and there's a foul as well.
See, this is the guy that I would like to see included more. Now Stu's upset. He didn't want to foul that time, but Reggie Lewis can beat any of the Knicks off the dribble and get his shot.
Guards in a moment. Pat O'Brien in New York City with a reminder that coming up on the Prudential at the half, we'll check in at Salt Lake City where Phoenix and Utah are preparing for their 5th game. Meantime, out in Chicago, it's another day at the office for Michael Jordan and company, who are working out for their opener against Philly tomorrow night. We'll talk live with Bulls coach Phil Jackson, and we'll also drive down the lane, memory lane, with Earl Monroe. All that and much more at a familiar place, the Prudential at the half. And Hubie Brown I remember when I was covering you back in '84 when you coached that great 7-game series, you used to have a tuna sandwich before every game, and I arranged to have one there. I hope it got there.
Don't worry, Pat. It arrived on time, okay? Here we go.
We're going to save it for after the game because Hubie doesn't speak that well with his mouth full. Patrick Ewing was criticized this week after the 2-0 lead by Boston. First time since he's come to New York, really, because maybe his lack of effort to get into position. Look how he answered them.
Well, anytime that you go for 38 points and 16 rebounds in 2 games, and then how about the 7 steals? Only 1 steal away from the NBA playoff record. You know, so you know that he answered the bell. I like what Robert Parrish had to say about him. Robert said he's a better player today because he's more intense at both ends. He has a variety of shots and just doesn't throw the fadeaway jump shot. He gives you the jump hook now, and the spin move on the baseline is the toughest thing for me to guard. High compliments.
And, you know, that's from a guy who doesn't really give him out much. Oakley has his 10th rebound with that one. They took a foul away that was given to Kevin McHale, called it a violation. So right now Kevin has 1, each team with 2 team fouls, with less than 2.5 to go in the first half. Tied at 46. Gerald Wilkins back in for the Knicks. Lewis ready to double. Here it comes, and it works. And on the turnover, Celtics trying to untie this game as we wind down to 2 minutes to go in the half.
Celtics have had all kinds of fast break opportunities, but they are not delivering 2-on-1 or 3-on-1.
Parrish gets the pass at a good spot and beats the smaller Knicks inside. The Chief has 10 points. Far cry from what has been a disappointing 2 games in New York. McHale on Newman. Oakley. Parrish kind of gave him the shot, and it was deflected.
Excellent anticipation by Parrish.
That's his 3rd block.
Beautiful.
Bird to Parrish, rolling to the basket as good as he could do.
The greatest passer that I have ever seen in pro basketball at the height of his jump and making it was a guy by the name of Rick Barry. And now Larry Bird is right at that level because you must play them for the score, and then they have the presence of always giving the ball up to a guy for an easier attempt. Look at this pass. What beautiful recognition.
A 20-second timeout called by the Knicks. Everyone freezes, and Parrish going to the basket. Bird having a big game in every aspect. 2nd all-time passing forward, and he had averaged 11 assists in this series until game number 4, when he only had 5.
Well, it's a little unfair for Bird, you know, to be behind John Havlicek, because John, at the end of his career, played the 2nd guard position for many, many years.
Bird also had 18 rebounds in game 1, so you can't measure what he does just in the scoring department, although he leads all scorers with 17. Celtics by 4. Wilkins. This from the top. Reggie Lewis pushing it up. Dennis Johnson. 6 points now with under a minute.
That was one of the few times today that the Celtics have pushed the ball once they arrived at half court. They've been just happy taking it down slowly.
They've scored 6 in a row, and good defense inside by Parrish and Lewis. But the Celtics, in their effort to get the ball up court quickly, turned it over.
Now Jimmy Rogers really upset over there. He saw that they had an opportunity to go, but you know, you try to tell players, don't leave and get out on the break and lose sight of the basketball, because who are we going to pass the ball to?
Oakley gets hit inside.
Now let me ask you this. Now, yeah, Ewing doesn't have that many points today, but he is really finding the free people today. He is making the beautiful pass, and especially to Oakley anytime that he makes a cut.
Well, if you're asking me, I'll agree with you. He is, and that's really been a big part of the Knicks offense today.
And it's nice to see, because it's a young ball club, because it will open up other things for them in the second half.
Well, Oakley hits the free throw. Reggie Lewis is out, and Jim Paxson checks back in for the Celtics. Oakley with 14 points, and that's because of Patrick Ewing's passing skills in his first half.
Well, you always tell big people, when the guy leaves you to double team, always go to the front of the rim. If you don't get the pass, at least you'll be there for the offensive rebound. (52-48). Differential on the shot clock of about 13 seconds. Cheeks reaches in, and that's the third foul, so the Knicks and the Celtics each with 4. No more fouls to give. And a 20-second timeout called by the Celtics. Western semifinal underway yesterday. Portland Trailblazers, who are without Kevin Duckworth. Buck Williams returned to action, and against San Antonio, Portland won the game. David Robinson held to only 9 points, but Jerome Kersey had a big game. And another guy who filled in there was Drexler with a high 20s and also 9 rebounds.
Series continues Tuesday in Portland before they shift to San Antonio. Spurs won their division, but the Trailblazers won 59 games, and a lot of people may not realize that's as many as the Detroit Pistons won this year.
You know what was nice also, Dick, was yesterday that Buck Williams played major minutes, even though he had the eye injury, and he still came up with 17 points and 6 boards.
What a difference he's made up there. 15 on the shot clock. McHale. Lead is 6. Celtics have made their last 5 shots, and now the Knicks trying to get a couple more before this half is over.
5 seconds.
Johnny Newman runs into McHale. Ewing scores with 0.6 of a second to go to cut the lead to 4, and that's the way it'll be. And so Charles Oakley has a big second period with 9 points. That's the end of the first half. With the score, the Celtics 54 and the Knicks 50. Pat O'Brien and Bill Raftery will be along with the Prudential at the half after this message.
CBS Sports presents The Prudential at the half. Sponsored by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
And our score at the half, New York and Boston, the Celtics lead by 4. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien along with Bill Raftery, and welcome once again to the Prudential at the half. And Bill, Larry Bird was not kidding when he said he was going to get more involved offensively.
Well, he's really done some amazing things, I think, in his penetration right now. He's got the ability to bounce and beat people, and it really creates havoc for the interior defense of the Knicks. Here he blows by Patrick Ewing, the ability to switch hands, and, of course, the kiss.
Great adjustment on the shot there at the end. What are the issues for the Knicks in the second half?
I honestly think that Patrick's being doubled a lot more than he was in the first game. I think they have to go to him. He's got to recognize the double, kick it back out, and reset. 1, they might get an illegal D, but 2, you can't double him again. He's got the quick move.
Anyway, you look at a heck of a game. Coming up later today, we have another decisive 5th game for you. Phoenix and Utah out west. James Brown and Tommy Heinsohn will call that one, and they have more now on the Suns and all that jazz. Here's JB.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. In the background, the Salt Palace being bathed in sunlight on a simply scrumptious afternoon here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown along with Tom Heinsohn. Where later today, it'll be the 5th and deciding game between Phoenix and Utah. And Tommy, a marquee matchup in the backcourt, Kevin Johnson and John Stockton, 2 premier point guards.
Well, if you think the NBA is just big guys banging, forget about it, because these little guys provide the fun of pro basketball. Lots of quickness, lots of good passing, and lots of good shooting. So far, the stats show they're pretty even. So this game represents bragging rights in the little man community.
A lot of the offense originated by these 2 guys, Tommy.
Kevin Johnson really represents practically all of the offense for the Phoenix Suns. John Stockton is the leader on the floor. He can score, but boy, can he dish them off.
And the big guys love to run with him. So a premier matchup in the backcourt, and the winner of this contest moves on to meet the team waiting in the wings, the Los Angeles Lakers. Now let's take you back to New York to Pat O'Brien and America's guest, Bill Raftery.
Ooh, but he's such a good guest. The Suns and the Jazz, like the Knicks and the Celtics, they are playing for all of the marbles. We spare no expense here on this broadcast.
People have said you've lost yours.
You can use those yourself. Speaking of shooters, we'll catch up with one of the greatest, Earl the Pearl Monroe, and his teammate Phil Jackson, as At the Half rolls on from the east bank of the Hudson after a commercial. And a word from your local stations. Stick around, it's Playoff Sunday. The 1989-1990 season ends for one of these teams this afternoon. And right now, Boston leads New York 54-50. And welcome back to the Prudential At the Half here in our New York studios. Yesterday on CBS, you saw the 76ers win their Game 5. Now, tomorrow night, they open their Eastern Conference semifinal against the Chicago Bulls. And it should be an extremely physical series, according to one expert source, Ricky Mahorn.
Right now, I'm savoring this first round. You know, we got to go in Chicago and play Monday night. It's going to be a war, and we just have to go in there with our shield and our armor gear and just go in there and play.
And joining us live from Deerfield, Illinois, where the Bulls are winding up a practice session, is Chicago coach Phil Jackson. Phil, those are fighting words from Rick Mahorn. How are you going to control thump and bump and Barkley in that crowd?
Can't do it. We don't have the strength or the size to control them, Pat. We're just going to have to play a game in which we keep our poise, maintain our physical awareness on the floor, play hard, play a physical game, but don't get caught up in the theatrics the 76ers like teams to get caught up in.
Last week we saw Michael Jordan take that horrible fall in that game. How's he doing? How is his hip?
He's doing okay. You know, I can't believe how fast he recovers from injuries. Not only that, he's rolled both his ankles in the last game against Milwaukee, but he's recovered. He's back practicing as hard as ever today.
Phil, I know you've worked extremely hard on your half-court offense. Why is it so hard to trap the Chicago Bulls?
Well, Bill, we come out of a sequence or an offensive set in which we don't have a programmed or a rated type thing where we say, okay, they're going to throw the ball now to Michael Jordan, now everybody can run over and double team him. We're trying to disguise what we're going to do out of that and come out of there without a format so people don't have that prorated or that programmed kind of an offense so that they can do that. Hopefully we'll keep it disguised this way against the 76ers. They've done a good job against us on their home court this year. We've done a good job against them on our home court. Hopefully we can maintain the home court advantage.
Coach, we know where your allegiances lie now with the Chicago Bulls, but you still kind of root for the Knicks here when you see them play?
Well, it's always a great battle. I love to see the Knicks-Celtic battle. It's a game in which you know, anything can go up, and you know, I can remember going up there and winning the 7th game of a series in 1973, and the Knicks are there facing a real hard one today.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck with your series against 76ers.
All right, Pat.
All right, right now we're going to touch base with one of his old Knick teammates, Earl Monroe. 1 week from this Tuesday, he'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and when it comes to providing entertainment, he hasn't lost a step. He burst upon the NBA in 1967 as Rookie of the Year with the Baltimore Bullets. Then he brought his unique knack to the Knicks. New York is home now, and here he harbors his current ambitions, climbing the ladder in the music world as the proud proprietor of Pretty Pearl Records. Monroe has been creating records in the studio for almost as long as he was shattering them on the court. And as a player, spent his off days visiting local DJs and scouting talent.
This is my life, and it's a little different, you know, for me, because, you know, all my energies, you know, all day, you know, 24/7 is about the music and trying to get it right.
Now he applies his patented spin moves in other ways, searching for moments of magic.
Being in sports is entertainment, and this is just a natural step into another direction of entertainment. Everybody likes to sing, everybody likes to dance, and what we're bringing to them is something that they like to do. And certainly when I was playing, I was a dancer at that time.
Still the Pearl. Time now for Dick and Hubie to get back to work. For Bill Raftery, I'm Pat O'Brien. Thank you for joining us on the Prudential at the Half. Enjoy the second half here on CBS.
The Prudential at the Half has been sponsored by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock. CBS Sports coverage of the 1990 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? The good time, great taste of McDonald's. And by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.
We're back at halftime in the deciding game of the best of 5. The winner will move on against Detroit. The loser's season is over, and the Boston Celtics lead it by 54-50. Their offensive rebounding paid off in the first quarter, but the Knicks came back because of good shooting, particularly from Trent Tucker, who scored 7 points coming off the bench. And a few moments ago, Hubie Brown talked with Stu Jackson of the New York Knicks and asked him his reaction after the first half of play.
The main thing is we didn't think we necessarily played our best half of basketball, Hubie, and we're still in the ball game. The way that we're going to be successful against the Celtics, especially offensive, we have got to stay on the move against a team that today has decided to pressure us more than they have in the past.
Well, best of luck, Steve.
Thank you very much.
All right, now on the other side of that, I just walked into the locker room with Jimmy Rogers and the Celtics, and their main concern and the obvious factor that they're going to look for here early is Oakley. They have not given him the attention that they want. They want to get on him more. They're going to pressure for him. They're going to look for him everywhere he goes. That's been their main concern. He says that's what they've got to stop, obviously. Back to you guys.
All right, Tim, the shooting, Boston had the edge, and the front line, McHale, Bird, and Parrish shot 57% in the first half. They're doing their jobs. Robert Parrish coming alive. Offensive rebounding, a big plus for Boston in the first quarter in particular. Comparing the two centers. Now Ewing, maybe not that impressive as far as his shooting and rebounding, but he has passed, and we've talked about that, and that really has brightened up the New York offense as you look at the leading scorers, Hubie.
Well, it's definitely helped Charles Oakley, mainly because Oakley has at least 5 layup attempts. The thing that I find interesting in the first half, the referees have decided to allow these two centers, Parrish and Ewing, to play. Now, why do I say that? Ewing had 14 shot attempts, Parrish 9. Neither center has taken a foul shot. That is a big statement.
Boy, that really is. Foul trouble, nobody in the game has 3. Larry Bird with 17 points. Kiki Vandeweghe, who only played 6 minutes because it's Johnny Newman's court, really, when these two teams match up. But Kiki Vandeweghe will start the second half, along with Oakley and Ewing, and in the backcourt it's Wilkins and Maurice Cheeks. Knicks were down by 8 after the first quarter, cut the margin in half. See if Ewing gets more in the offense here in the second. Quick double team, tough pass inside. 6 on the shot clock. Vandeweghe, and Bird runs into him.
Nice ball movement by the Knicks. What you do not want to do when the pass comes out of the double team is to put the ball on the floor unless you're going to the basket. Otherwise, catch it and keep moving it.
Double team, Gerald Wilkins smartly puts up the jumper. He saw Bird in front of him.
Yes, and also he's struggling with the long jumper today. That time when the ball came to him, he saw an opening and he attacked to the basket.
Celtics, of course, in their tradition, and it's a tremendous legacy in the league, have always come out strong in the early moments of the third quarter. Blocked off. Parrish with a good spin move.
Robert Oakley is taught to take away the Chiefs' right hand, and he did that time.
Ewing with a jumper.
See, what I like if I'm Stu Jackson, you're in this game and Ewing was 5 for 14 before he just hit that shot. You got to feel that the horse is going to get hot in the second half.
You're Stu Jackson. You like being in this 5th game after last week.
Absolutely.
Parrish double team with Ewing and Oakley. Tipped away, and a good play by Wilkins. His quickness. Now here come the Knicks. Getting back is Lewis. Great pass inside to Kiki Vandeweghe and Gerald Wilkins at both ends.
Well, Gerald feels, he told me, that he can put it down. And he honestly feels that, especially in the open floor, that he can create and get the shot or make the pass.
Should come to every game at 6 in the morning.
Yes.
Huh? Larry Bird misses his first shot of the second half, and there's Wilkins again. Knicks trying to make the older Celtics run up court defensively. And a pushing foul from behind. If it's on Parrish, it'll be his 3rd. And it is.
Now watch Gerald make this move, and then he spots Vandeweghe. Nice look, nice catch, and then presence of mind to switch sides of the floor to lay it up.
3 fouls now on Robert Parrish, the first player to pick up 3. Ewing has it slapped away by Dennis Johnson.
Plenty of time.
Gerald Wilkins with a jumper. Boy, he's come out strong here. He has 10 points, but doing it defensively as well.
Well, think about it. Tucker and Gerald Wilkins at that 2-guard spot. Major production today.
Parrish pushed from behind, and he'll shoot 2.
See, bad foul by Oakley because he had both hands in his lower back and just pushed him off. Well, the referees are going to see that. We all know that if you put the forearm in the back, you get the same result, and very seldom is it called a foul.
Well, he didn't get called for that one. Ewing did.
Oh!
So we'll just erase that on the tape. You'll be in make-believe you never said it, but Ewing picks up his second.
That's an oops. That's an oops. I tell you, that was such an obvious. It was like a flagrant push by Oakley.
Well, you saw that the officials didn't. 2 free throws by Parrish. The Knicks have not missed yet here in the third quarter. They're perfect 4 for 4 from the field. Vandeweghe with a good screen from Ewing. Now Boston. High score at 58, so that 4-point lead evaporated in a hurry.
Hey, Patrick Ewing just fanned out and picked up Larry Bird.
McHale over Vandeweghe. Vandeweghe has a tough assignment of either guarding a Bird or a McHale and struggling with both men. Parrish with 3 fouls. Ewing. Great play by Ewing. Going the opposite way.
See, he's very active this half, Dick. He's taking it on either side of the lane, and they're looking for him not only out of the set offense, but in the transition game.
Remember, the Celtics have beaten the Knicks 26 straight times here at the Boston Garden. Knicks coming back from a 2-0 deficit in the series as Vandeweghe commits his first personal foul. Larry Bird yet to score here in the third quarter. More than 3 minutes gone by. Great pass behind his shoulders. Parrish. There's that offensive rebounding that really gave Boston the big boost in the first quarter.
Well, Newman is playing Larry on that little pick move, that curl. He's playing behind him. Larry knows that anytime he catches, he can get inside the Knick defense.
They're isolating Gerald Wilkins for the moment. Ewing, top of the key. He knows the rims here. Well, he went to high school here, didn't he?
Oh, well, sure. It came with the air that he breathed. Is that what you're telling me? No, the main thing is that he's playing big this quarter. He's coming out shooting and knocking him down.
6 points already for Patrick. He's inside. McHale gets the basket and a foul and elbows Oakley after the shot. And there's a technical foul, I believe.
Let's keep an eye on this now.
On
Here's
McHale,
Reggie.
I think.
Now there's your nice move. There it is, a hard foul, and then naturally the bump off. Yeah, he's just sending Oakley a message. He's going to tell him, look, hard foul. I'm gonna give you a little bump in return. But the referee interpreted that as a swinging elbow.
The foul is on Oakley in any event. That's his third. So Oakley and Parrish each with 3 fouls. But McHale is on the line, so technical foul is called against McHale for the elbow. He makes the free throw for the 3-point play to give Boston the 3-point lead, and now the Knicks will shoot.
Well, naturally the referees do not want to allow this game to get away from them, and that was the first time that we've seen a flagrant elbow go out and make contact today, and they were right on top of it. Excellent call.
Cheeks getting the explanation from Mike Mathis. That's the most I've ever seen Maurice Cheeks talk at one time. 2 shots for Oakley. Because of the elbow, it's 2-shot. Technical. Oakley having a terrific game here, and he, ever since he moved into the starting lineup, has made a big difference.
See, if you hit anyone with a flagrant elbow above the shoulders, what's going to happen to you is you're out of the game. But if you have the contact below, they'll call the foul.
McHale with a 3-point basket. He kind of got to like that this year, didn't he?
Yes, and also I think he's saying, you know what, I think maybe the little play before had something to do with him taking a 3.
McHale scored 9 points in the first half, already has 8 here in the third quarter. Ewing comes back with a jumper, and he remains active, and it's 68-66 Boston.
Well, what we're seeing in the third quarter are that the Celtics cannot get to him for the successful double team.
He's hit all 4 of his shots here in the third. Bird cutting across the lane. Vandeweghe did everything he could do there.
Well, see, anytime that Larry comes off that curl, Vandeweghe and Newman continue to follow him. Once he makes his catch, you're at his mercy.
Knicks, meanwhile, have missed only 1 shot here in the third quarter, and we have just under 7 minutes to go. Bird causes a turnover. Dennis Johnson. Reggie Lewis with the quickness. Basket good. And a foul.
Now this is Reggie Lewis at his best. You must come out on him. Now watch how he scoops the shot. See, he's excellent with the English off of the glass.
Foul is on Gerald Wilkins. Timeout.
Now watch Larry Bird read this pick. As Bird comes off, he comes shoulder to shoulder with the pick man. Now right there, you'll see that Vandeweghe is picked. Now once he makes the catch, he looks, he could go down the lane, but look what we have here. We have 3 Knicks. So he says, little ball fake. Now I come back and I make my move. Naturally, everyone can make this shot, all right, off the glass. Now, at the other end, watch a player coming off a pick incorrectly. Now, as Vandeweghe comes off of this, you see right there, he allowed the defensive man to come in between the pick and cause a turnover.
Right now, let's go to Tim Brandt. Tim?
All right, Dick, in that last huddle, Stu Jackson was telling his team that they've responded to every little break. Every time they've fallen behind, they've come back. What he wants them to do here is they want to flash Patrick outside and bring him back down inside. Defensively, be more aggressive, pack it inside. But most of all, he continues to reiterate to maintain their poise and play aggressively.
Not a bad thing. Reggie Lewis with the 3-point play. And a 7 straight run here by the Boston Celtics with 6:35 to go. Oakley gets it into Ewing. He's been a giant offensively here in the third quarter, and Ewing now with 20 points, 10 already here in this quarter.
Well, anytime he's on the move, Dick, they cannot get to him quick enough to double team him. He's doing an excellent job.
Newman on Bird. And the Knicks now nearly halfway third quarter, trailing 73-68. Going around, Johnson, his cheeks, drags him down. They're old Warriors, huh? The old Boston, Philadelphia days.
They've gone head-to-head in a few games that have had some meaning in the Eastern Conference.
Each team now with 14 fouls, so the next one will be a penalty on both sides.
When you have a young ball club like the Knicks do, and what you try to get them to do right now is to stay within what we're trying to run and don't launch any surprise shots, because when you do that, we cannot get on the offensive board.
Harris goes out having scored 6 points here in the third, and second to Bird with 18. McHale couldn't control.
Well, Patrick read the triple team that time, Dick, but I think he tried to make too fine a pass that time.
Look at the defense going on here with Joe Klein, who just entered the game. Newman throws it away. Didn't have many options.
But you always try to tell your players, if the play breaks down, please come to the ball.
Red Auerbach, who now is second to Pat Riley for the most playoff victories by a coach. Turnovers even, though, in this game, virtually. Lead is 5. McHale has already hit 1 3-point basket. That goes over the top. It's interesting what Tim Brandt found out earlier, and that is the fact that the Knicks have been able to come back from every kind of mini run, so to speak, that the Celtics have staged today.
So far today. I'm kind of surprised that the Celtics have gone away from all those little curl moves, because the Knicks definitely could not stop them.
Cheeks is fouled, and he'll go to the line. That is the 15th foul against Boston. And Dennis Johnson now picks up his second. So Maurice Cheeks, who has played a big role in the Knicks' comeback in this series, and don't forget in New York there had been that controversy over the trade that sent Rod Strickland to San Antonio.
Yeah, but now when you see what the player is doing,
right.
They got him for his leadership, his confidence, his defense, his ability to play big under pressure. He's a 52% career field goal shooter, and he's right around that 80 mark on the foul line. Now all of a sudden everybody loves the move. You know, as long as the team wins.
There's the pressure on the backcourt. Bird finds Lewis, double teamed. Klein. Now they only have 11 seconds now to set up a play. McHale. Now there's an example of where the Knicks made the Celtics rush their offense.
Well, you remember in the first half when they did that same move, McHale hit the jump shot from the corner.
Gerald Wilkins. He still has it. Under 5 minutes to go in the third.
See, they are not going to allow Joe Klein to root Patrick Ewing out of that low post area. Here we have the trap. Now the Celtics are scrambling versus the press. Now the main thing is to continue to move it till you get the open shot.
And the natural question is, Klein picked up the foul on Ewing. Why wouldn't the Knicks do that more often than they do?
Well, Stu Jackson made a great statement yesterday. He thinks that his ball club presses better in Madison Square Garden. Here today, he said, I think we can pressure them from half court back and get better results.
The lead is down to 1. So once again, the Knicks have answered the Celtic spurt, but Boston still in front in this deciding game. Larry Bird hits. Got 21 points.
He's coming off those picks today and saying, shot, anytime he's outside of 15 feet.
His passing hasn't been all that bad either, after relying on that this week. Cheeks with a drive, winds up on the deck.
See, what I like about Mo this quarter, Dick, he is looking to penetrate any time that he's at the top of the circle coming off the dribble.
22nd is timeout.
Now just watch how he drops that shoulder, goes down inside, takes the double bump, because he was fouled for both people that time on the release of that shot.
You know, Maurice Cheeks was a member of that 76er team that won here at Boston Garden back in 1982, and the only deciding game that the Celtics have lost since Larry Bird joined the team. Most of the time, the Gremlins and the parquet banners do a number on the visiting club, but not that time. Well, Detroit's waiting for the winner of this game. Philly and Chicago get underway tomorrow, but in the West, Phoenix and Utah follow next on CBS. They'll play the Lakers in the series beginning Tuesday, and Portland leading San Antonio 1-0. It was a best-of-7 series now in the conference semifinals.
Well, during the course of the year, Portland defeated San Antonio 3 out of 4 games. And then how about the Lakers? The Lakers were 2-2 with Utah, 3-1 with Phoenix. So that'll be interesting to see who comes out of there this evening.
Lewis cutting in. Gerald Wilkins cut him off, and he'll be called for the foul. And so everyone's in the penalty right now. Third foul against Wilkins, and Lewis will shoot 2.
I like the statement Larry Bird made about Reggie Lewis. He said he's the only guy in our ball club that can go one-on-one and beat everybody. And also, when he comes off the slices from the other side of the floor, invariably he has his man beaten.
He has 10 points right now, does Reggie Lewis, who has scored over 20 points in 3 of the 4 games in this series. He's always the X factor.
Well, he's such a quiet player, and you know they run no plays for the guy. So he must get him in the open floor on the opposite side of the flow and then on the offensive glass.
Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, Boston by 3. Against Klein, Ewing posting up, Cheeks. And it's a 1-point game again. Maurice Cheeks now has scored 6 of his 10 points here in the third quarter.
Well, Mo Cheeks is such a disciplined player. He does nothing fancy and nothing unpredictable and nothing with a high degree of difficulty.
Klein against Oakley, looking to get Oakley into another foul. Ewing helps. McHale
Misses the tip. Good opportunity for Boston. Goes by the board.
They've got to go inside to the big fella.
I'll tell you, Klein's doing a good job on him.
Yes, he is.
In traffic, Cheeks with a great reverse left-handed layup.
See, they're so determined now because Patrick is hot to double and triple team him. They have all kinds of people open.
So the Knicks regain the lead by 1. Go on baseline and a push by Newman. And Larry Bird will go to the line.
Now watch this return. Now how about this shot? Beautiful. Played the glass, got the bite.
Back into Boston Garden. Year was 1984. They had a great year, but even then, in the playoffs, they came up short. A valiant effort by Bernard King, playing with splints on both hands, carried the Knicks to the dramatic 7th game. He averaged 29 points for the series, but it wasn't enough for Hubie Brown's team. Larry Bird was unstoppable, hitting a triple-double, and the Celtics, using the home court, the mystique of the Garden, went on to capture the Eastern Finals and eventually the championship from the Los Angeles Lakers.
Hubie, of course, what was it like coming into that 7th game? You talk about it all the time, I know.
Well, in 83 and 84, we were 9-9 with them, beating them here twice, but yet we could not get a win at home. I mean, on this floor. They beat us all 4 games by 10 or more points. Larry Bird elevated his game that day and could be one of the greatest games he's ever played. He had 39 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, did everything. Really rose to the occasion.
How many guys have... How many guys have gone to the 7th game with the Boston Celtics, whether it's home or away? Bird having a big game, 23 points now.
Well, you know, that's why he's just at that other level, because he relishes the pressure.
Gerald Wilkins.
Oh, boy.
You know, this is a game in which Boston had a 9-point lead. Knicks came back to lead by 3. Then it was Boston by 7. Knicks came back again, as they have right now. They have answered every Celtic surge today.
Well, I think that Patrick coming to the front in the 3rd quarter, really playing great basketball, has given the rest of the guys confidence.
Pass overthrown. McHale claims he was held on the play.
Yeah, but you see, in today's game, you're not going to get any of that. You're not going to get those little bumping fouls and grabbing, because if we did, you know, what we were doing is shooting foul shots today, going from end to end.
Each team has turned it over 10 times in this one as we get close to 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. Klein picking up Wilkins on a switch. Ewing matched up against Lewis. But there's the offensive rebound, and Oakley draws the foul inside. And now the Celtics have to be upset with themselves in allowing New York to get the 2nd shot.
Well, they played really good defense this time, and you know, he knew that he couldn't penetrate, so they passed back Ewing. Now watch Oakley here. See, this is 2 guys working. That's how Oakley gets paid. He gets paid to put his body into the chest of your big man. And at the end of the day, he's not counting how many times you hit him in the head.
John Bagley commits his 1st foul. Oakley has 18 points along with 12 boards, and Robert Parrish, who has responded in this game, gives Joe Klein a breather, and Klein has played well in reserve.
He's done an excellent job moving Patrick around. But you know, the Oakman right here, he's the guy that gives everyone the quiet confidence and also allows Ewing to upgrade, because Patrick knows that he can count on Oakley getting key rebounds.
That matches the biggest lead the Knicks have enjoyed. It was earlier in the game at 39-36. Under 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
The Celtics must close down the passing lanes and get the good angles to feed their post people.
Bird looking inside. Parrish kept out well by Ewing. Long shot by Parrish. Cheeks winds up with it now. Knicks looking for their biggest lead of the game. Johnny Newman splits the middle to Patrick Ewing, and it's a 5-point lead.
See, what you like if you're Stu Jackson, not only are we penetrating and doing a good job, Dick, but we're making the unselfish pass to the guy who has a better shot. Now watch Parrish react. Look at that triple team presence to drop off the pass.
Johnny Newman picks up his 4th personal foul, and John Bagley on the line. There's a rare smile between two combatants there. Whoever expected to see this?
Yeah, but guys like that, they appreciate the work ethic of the other person. You know, we see some guys throwing some trash here, but we really know they're really not trash. Not
in the least bit.
No.
Never thought they would.
No.
Lead is 3. Bagley trying to fight through Ewing's screen right now. Cheeks finds an opening, and Maurice Cheeks again now. Cheeks with 14 points.
Mo did that. That was like a surgeon operating. He created it, he staggered his dribble, and then took advantage.
Larry Bird comes back. 25 for Larry Bird.
The Celtics, if they're going to get it done, they've got to play better defense off the dribble in this half-court attack by the Knicks.
They're going to call Bagley for the push, and Cheeks will shoot 2.
Watch Cheeks survey here. See, he gets bumped, see, but he takes a look. Then he steps through. But how about that? You split Bird at 6'9" and McHale at 6'11".
Maurice Cheeks has scored 10 points here in the 3rd quarter. Patrick Ewing 14. They have been the big people offensively for New York. Trent Tucker is in the game, and Johnny Newman goes out. Newman has scored 6 points and goes out with 4 fouls.
Now, from a strategic standpoint, Trent Tucker or Wilkins will go against Larry Bird at that small forward position, or we might see a lot of this, the 2-2-1 full court trap. Now the Knicks wanted backcourt that time.
18 on the shot clock. Driving the baseline, a forced and a great play by Bagley, because the Knicks would have had an easy fast break. Parrish into the hands of Tucker. Now the Knicks push it up again. Shot clock is off. New York leading by 4.
We're going to hold for the last shot here. 10 seconds.
Ewing setting up his pick high. Now they get 2 seconds. Wilkins way off the mark as the buzzer sounds, but the Knicks have the lead coming into the 4th quarter, and Patrick Ewing with 14 big points in the 3rd quarter. That is the end of the 3rd period with the score. The Knicks 87, the Celtics 83, and we'll return to the Boston Garden after this message and a word from your local station.
They've dropped off now.
Dare you!
Hey, wubba wubba wubba, NBA action. It's fantastic.
Welcome back to the Boston Garden as the 1990 NBA playoffs continue here on CBS. Game 5 of this best-of-5 series between Boston and New York. And New York leads it by 4. A quick reminder coming up later today here on CBS. Game 5, Utah and Phoenix. That's coming up next. Right now, let's go back to the table. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown.
This crowd's terrific. They did not quit, and they are behind the Celtics going into the final 12 minutes, barring overtime. The Knicks shot 14 for 18 in the 3rd quarter. I want the names of those who missed those 4 shots, Hubie. 78% and scored 37 points to take the 4-point lead.
Now the Celtics, this is on their mind now. They have to go against the trap, but they ended that 3rd quarter missing 9 of their last 11 shots.
Dennis Johnson, Lewis, McHale, Parrish, and Bird. Lewis misses the rebound to Lewis. Will it count?
Now just watch as this rebound comes off how Reggie is behind the backboard. Look at this. He not only had to get around Ewing, but come out from underneath.
He misses the free throw. The foul was on Charles Oakley. So Oakley now has 4 personal fouls. 87-85. Newman driving against McHale. And he'll jump it. And he'll be on the short end of that jump for sure.
When you coach a young ball club or a team like this on the road, what you try to tell them is that we are not going to be getting any major calls here down the road. You must play big, and you cannot complain if you get bumped on drives to the basket.
Stu Jackson told his team, we know the Celtics will have at least 3 big runs. How we handle those runs will determine how we come out. The moment of truth. And maybe in the midst of one now.
See, I don't know why they went away from that in the third quarter. For some reason, they didn't go to that. Larry can get a shot every single time off of that play.
27 for Bird. Tie score. Tucker for 3. And he nails it. Big one for Trent Tucker, his second of the game.
Trent is having an outstanding game tonight.
Defensively as well.
Yes, by hitting a long jumper, he's keeping the honest in the low post area as well.
Bird posting up against Newman. Ewing blocks it. McHale misses the jumper. And now the Knicks pushing it up now. Leading by 3.
Oakley laboring, coming across half court now.
Ewing. And it drops. Patrick Ewing now has 26 points. He only had 4 after the first quarter. He has been a big factor here since then.
Well, you know what's interesting, Dick? No 2 shots have been the same for Ewing in the second half.
In the post, McHale to Dennis Johnson. Great feed, and it started with Bird.
You know, we've seen very little of that today. A Boston pass into the post, and then a return pass to a cutter.
Final quarter of the deciding game. Ewing with a turnaround misses. McHale, 3-point lead for the Knicks. This is game 5. Winner plays Detroit. Double team with Cheeks. Dennis Johnson, open.
What do they say? He has the nerves of the burglar. 4 for 11 at the end of the first half. All open shots. Didn't discourage him a bit. Now watch the cutter now. Beautiful pass by McHale.
Bird and Patrick Ewing, the leading scorers. Knicks shooting tremendously well in the second half, but Boston's offensive rebounding has really been a big factor for them, and Joe Klein doing what Patrick Ewing did. Mel Carr did it in his day, and the crowd responding. The Knicks led by 4 at the half, and the Celtics got 4 in a hurry. Bird fell back by 5, and now they're on a 4-0 run. So now it looks like Boston is answering New York's spurts here in the latter stages.
Well, you expect that, and you know that the Celtics are not going to die in this building. I'm interested now in the 3 minutes to see if they continue to run Bird in that curl situation, because they can get whatever they want. They can get him on the penetration off the dribble. They can get him for that little baby jump shot. And then after that, they might even get him on some fades to the corner.
26 straight games at Boston Garden. Celtics have beaten the New York Knicks, trying to become only the 3rd team in history to come back from a 2-0 deficit in a best-of-5 series. 7 on the clock. There's a good feed. Newman tipped up and in by Charles Oakley. Who else?
What a move by Oakley. Newman was inside of him and thought that he was going to get that offensive rebound.
21 points for Oakley, playing his best game of the series. Bird again in traffic. Cheeks is fouled by Dennis Johnson. Let's see what the call is on that. Right now, let's go to Tim Brandt. Foul is on DJ. Tim?
All right, Dick, quick observation. That last time out, it was all business and strategy in Boston's time and Boston's huddle. But here with New York, it was more emotional, more of a pep talk to the young players. He was telling his players here in New York, this is your moment. You're 9 minutes from Detroit.
Tim, you know, that's an emotional team the Knicks are. They're younger. Celtics have been down this road so many times before. An illegal defense called against the Celtics, and that'll be a technical foul. That's the second one today.
Now watch as Newman takes this shot. Here comes Oakley up over the top of Newman. Excellent effort.
Jimmy Rogers, who was looking for patience offensively today and has gotten it in spurts.
The zone call that time. Kevin McHale is asking Darryl Garrettson over here on the side, where was I supposed to be or what didn't I do? Darryl had great patience and explained it. Now, when you think about it, it's only the second call all day, and they're double and triple teaming. They've been rather lucky.
Yeah. Newman made the free throw. 4-point lead. Oakley drives in, and it's 97-91, and the biggest lead right now for the Knicks with 8:13 to play.
See, we said anytime Oakley throws in and cuts, he's wide open.
Foul away from the ball against New York. And 5 for Newman.
Now watch as Oakley puts this ball in here and he cuts. He catches Bird, and there he goes strong to the basket.
Johnny Newman, though, has picked up his 5th personal foul. Will return to Boston Garden.
Way back to Boston, a reminder that coming up later, Game 5 of this opening Western Conference round of playoffs between Phoenix and Utah. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown. Injuries casting a bit of a cloud over to two of the game's biggest stars. Karl Malone of the Utah Jazz suffering from a deep groin pull. We'll find out how much his activity is limited around the basket. For Phoenix, their spiritual and floor leader, Kevin Johnson, suffering from a painful hip pointer. They will start. We'll find out how effective they are coming up in just a little bit. Now let's send you back to Boston for that Boston and New York series. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown.
Hubie Brown, we've got a big decision here for Stu Jackson because Johnny Newman just picked up his 5th foul. There's the time, and there's the score.
Well, here are your options. You leave Newman in, you have 8 minutes to go. But you know that he's matched up with Bird. He could foul out on the next possession. Now, you'd like to bring in Kenny Walker. Kenny Walker has an injury to his sternum, so that takes away a major option. Your third option is Kiki Vandeweghe, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Try to buy 3 to 4 minutes here and then bring Newman back with about 4 or 5 to go.
And you know that Bird's going to be going after Kiki Vandeweghe as well.
Well, at both ends. The Celtics have been going to Bird. The Knicks have been going to Ewing. Go to your pressure people and make it happen.
McHale double team. 13 on the shot clock. Parrish in the low post. Dennis Johnson is wide open. Nothing surprising there. Dennis Johnson with 14 points. And you know, when he scores around 15, normally that strategy fails because he's hitting it.
Absolutely. Because then what happens at the end of the game, you know, you fail the double team because you want to stay close on him. Let's give him his due. He's knocking him down.
Ewing. Parrish defending. That was good defense that time by Robert Parrish.
Look at the Chief, the old Chief. Running
down the court. Reggie Lewis goes in. And they'll call the Knick foul as Ewing hits the deck. And it's on Patrick, his 3rd.
Now watch as Patrick turns, how the Chief gets right up where with the closest arm. A lot of players in that situation try to block it with their right. But you get up in there with that left arm. That's what Robert's been doing all day. He's close to Patrick, and he's applying a lot of pressure.
At the conclusion of our game, Hubie and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in the player's name to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Lewis is 3 for 7 from the line today. Knocked away. Good defense. 3-on-1 fast break. Taken away by Maurice Cheeks. And this is going to be a 2 for Oakley.
Big
Boston, good defense one end. They miss a 3-on-1, and the Knicks now lead at 99-93.
See, you can't get bent out of shape. The Celtics wanted a foul. New York wanted a foul at the other end. Right? That just canceled out. That's why at this time in the game, you've just got to play, baby.
Lewis over Tucker. Other than the free throws, Reggie Lewis is having a terrific game offensively with 15 points.
So uncharacteristic of the Celtics. They break the league record, 83+% on the foul line. And today, it's been their Achilles heel.
Bird even missed one. There's a turnover, knocked away. Celtics. Bird, that time Vandeweghe played him nice off to the shooting hand. Nearly halfway through the final quarter. 4-point lead, New York. Won't let Tucker get off the three.
Plenty of time here. Just take your time.
Tucker fires, misses the three. Long rebound, Parrish. The Celtics aren't exactly walking it up.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Kevin McHale has not really been included in the offense in this half. Down low, like right here. Let's make things happen.
Dennis Johnson. Say, if the Celtics win this game, Dennis Johnson's got to be right near the top for being responsible. Timeout. New York. And the lead is cut to 2.
But you know, when your designated double teamer is Mo Cheeks, Dennis is open. Now watch this from the rear. There, they just knocked that ball away. Tucker, and then presence of mind, look down the floor, get the easy dunk.
Now this is the performance of Dennis Johnson in Game 7s at Boston Garden. You wonder why anyone ever says, let's let Dennis Johnson beat you, because invariably he does.
Well, you know, everyone looks at his shooting percentage over the year. He shot 43% for them. We know for a starting guard, that's not a high percentage. But he has that ability to rise under pressure. You can't stay in this league 14 years and do what he has done as a point guard at Seattle, in Phoenix, and in here, and get the respect of your peers unless you contribute big at pressure time.
He has hit 6 of his last 9. Johnny Newman, though, back in the game for the Knicks. Stu Jackson can't wait anymore. Newman playing with 5 personal fouls and still 5:20 remaining. But the Knick lead has been cut to 2. Was 6. Double team McHale and Parrish on Ewing, and Johnny Newman gets free again.
Just go back over the game today. How many layups? Oakley, Newman, any cutter that goes through, they're wide open. But let's give Patrick credit for delivering the pass.
5 minutes left. A Knick foul on Trent Tucker. That is the 4th team foul against the Knicks. One more there in the penalty.
See, now watch as McHale comes. We call this big man, big man. That opens up either Oakley or the slice man. That time the slice man, Reggie Lewis.
There you go Lewis, and double him in a hurry. Parrish. Lewis found him despite the double team. 101-99. The Celtics, by the way, have 3 fouls to give. That could be a factor down the stretch.
The thing with the Knicks, you want to keep your movement.
Ewing. And it's a 4-point affair again, and Patrick Ewing has 28 points. So it looked like his offense was going to be less than it had been, but 28 points, that's what he scored in Game 2.
First time today to jump hook in the lane. First time.
Bird beating Newman to the baseline. Misses the shot. He misses the jam, and now the Knicks leading by 4. Cheeks. Gives the Knicks a 6-point lead. When was the last time you saw Bird miss one of those?
Yeah, well, from now to the wire, Larry's got Newman on him in foul trouble. They go in there any time. Newman knows he cannot foul him unless he wants to leave this contest.
Loose ball. Lewis. Tell you, Reggie Lewis is having a terrific game. So both Boston starting guards. 17 for Lewis, 16 for Dennis Johnson. Cheeks again, and Cheeks again. Maurice Cheeks with another jumper, and Mo has 19.
What's to say? He gives you IQ on the floor. He doesn't talk much. All he does is demonstrate to everyone else.
8 out of 10 from the field for Cheeks. Dennis Johnson passes up the shot with 10 seconds on the clock. Bird. Rebound by Charles Oakley. 14 for Oakley.
See, Mo Cheeks is yelling, go, go. He's trying to put, but the two big guys who are working, Ewing and Oakley, are really tired.
Newman for 3. A big one. Johnny Newman with a three-point basket, and the Celtics trail now by 9, and a timeout called by Jimmy Rogers with 2:51 remaining.
Excellent ball movement, and then we're seeing some people not afraid to take the long downtown shot.
It has come up big in every big game at Boston Garden in his 11-year career. But this was an unfortunate one right here for the Celtics.
Well, this is a great quick move. As he comes up on the opposite side, he misses the dunk. Now, we know that that's a part of what's going on, but their transition defense in the last 3 minutes is really killing them. The Knicks are getting the odd number.
Right now, Tim Brandt. Timmy?
Dick, one of the big concerns in the New York huddle that time was Patrick Ewing. He sat in this chair, and as he sat down, it just gave way. He fell and almost got hurt. He banged his head on the floor, but he's back up and everything's all right. Now, Stu Jackson's just given his team a lot of reminders. Remind them to run to the ball, hold it, and get it back. Right now to you, Dick.
There's the timeout story. Boston with 2. The Knicks have 2 plus a 20. The lead is 9 with 2:51 to play. Biggest lead of the game, matches the Celtic first quarter lead. Look at Maurice Cheeks, 6 for 6, as the Knicks have shot 72% in the second half.
Boston must get down inside, run their power, because on every foul from now on, they're in the penalty. They're shooting the penalty.
11-4 run right now by New York. 10 on the shot clock. Knicks have really clamped down defensively outside.
They've done an excellent job in pushing them off the block.
Dennis Johnson. Rebound by Charles Oakley. That's 15 for Oakley. Now the Knicks are in no hurry.
Now, see, when the Celtics shoot and miss, it's just amazing. It's jumping out at you. No second shot opportunities.
26 straight victories for the Celtics against the Knicks at Boston Garden. 2 minutes plus away from being a raced final. Here's Oakley. Nearly threw it away. 1 second. Ewing hits the corner. And you got to know something when that happens. That's an omen.
Well, we knew that Oakley knew that as he threw the ball into the corner, right?
A 14-4 run by the New York Knicks, and some of the fans are starting to make their way to the exits.
Watch how he picks this up. The bench is yelling at him, shoot it, shoot it. And not only does he make it, he makes a 3. Look at Stu. Come on, Stu. Will it in.
First-year head coach Stu Jackson. An illegal defense called against Knicks. That's the first. 31 points for Patrick Ewing. Only the Fort Wayne Pistons back in 1956 and recent vintage, the Golden State Warriors in '87, have come back from 2-0 deficits to win a best-of-5, and even Red Auerbach masks what's going on. Lead is 12 for the Knicks with 1:45 remaining in the fourth period. Coming up next, the Suns and the Jazz for their Game 5 in the West. And a lot of the fans are making their way to the exits as the Knicks, who are a minute and 45 away from a tremendous triumph in a series, coming from behind against the Celtics. And you know, Hubie, when the Knicks didn't get down after that 9-point deficit in the first quarter and came back, I think they grew up in a lot of ways in that sense.
Well, I think the key was how strong Patrick Ewing came out in the third quarter, and then how it was picked up in the latter part of the third quarter by Mo Cheeks.
That's why they got him. Lewis. Robert Parrish. 22 points for Robert Parrish. The lead is 10. Just about a minute and a half to go. And the foul, Johnny Newman will go to the line.
See, if you're the Knicks right now and the Celtics extend the pressure, everything is in your favor because you're quicker at almost every position other than maybe Reggie Lewis. So what you do is you get it in and you just don't sit on the basketball. You keep forcing the tempo because that's what's taken you here to this lead.
Newman hits the free throw. In the regular season, the New York Knicks lost all 4 games to the Detroit Pistons after last year playing very well against Detroit. And that's going to be their next opponent if New York maintains the lead here with 1:29 to go. It's an 11-point lead. And the Boston Celtics have used their last timeout. Here's the Knick huddle moments ago. Stu Jackson.
Down here, okay? Stay in 51. Straight 51, all right? Make the extra pass. Now, the only way we can lose the game is if we give up threes, which we won't. The other way we can lose it if we don't come up with the defensive rebound. Don't think about going out on the break, Johnny. We don't need a fast break. I need you in there to blast. We're going to get it down that ball. Let's stick it out.
Red Auerbach.
Well, Red Auerbach made a great statement yesterday. He said any kind of a coach, if you're any kind of coach, you get your team to think about today. Streaks and things like that mean absolutely nothing. He says you must be worried about the Knicks after what we saw Friday night. Pretty good statement.
27 points. And decisive. Dennis Johnson with the layup. So you heard Stu Jackson. They don't need the break. They'll use the clock.
What he means by that is no one releasing and letting them get a second shot. Once we get the ball, then we'll go.
Cheeks will go to the line. And Maurice Cheeks will shoot 2. Cheeks, of course, as Hubie mentioned, one of the big heroes for the Knicks. With his tremendous effort, 19 points. Ewing has been the most obvious one for sure, but Trent Tucker and Johnny Newman have combined for 23 off the bench today for New York.
It's been a very difficult week for the New York coaching staff. You know, Stu said, hey, we got blown out here last Sunday. What happens? Nobody wanted to practice on Monday. We all came. It was like a morgue. We had to pump everyone up because we were all being traded. We were all being sold down the street. And then he said, finally, we worked out. Nothing happened. But then when we came in on Tuesday, the intensity level rose, and you could just sense it. We worked so hard for 45 minutes, and all we were trying to do, we were trying to tell our guys, listen, you're going to learn about yourself, baby, between now and game time next night, Wednesday night, and they did. They did a great job.
Pinckney replaces McHale. I think a big factor in the series as well was the fact that Game 3 wasn't played until Wednesday because the Celtics were on such a big roll following the 29-point victory. The Knicks could really gather themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that.
3-point shot missed. And a loose ball foul. It'll be against Charles Oakley. It'll be his 5th. And, you know, we mentioned heroes. What about Oakley? 25 points and 17 boards. Big ones, particularly in the first half.
Well, when they played here in games 1 and 2, who was the guy who spoke out about the intensity of the ball club and what he thought? Right here, this guy right here in the middle of our picture. He banged his wrist that time in the collision with Bird. But he was so outspoken and challenged the rest of the basketball team. Look, we have got to be physical in our building, but most of all, we've got to play defense and hold them to one shot.
Robert Parrish leads the game and gets a hand. So the Boston Celtics, who wound up winning the Atlantic Division by 7 games, or check that, losing to Philly, but 7 games ahead of the New York Knicks, and had home court advantage here. Sees it evaporate in game number 5, and a foul against Boston will send Oakley to the line. The foul is on Ed Pinckney. Last time the Knicks won a game here was February 29th, 1984. Their last playoff win was 10 years earlier than that.
See, if you're on the coaching staff with the Knicks, you love the fact that your 3 key guys played big. Patrick Ewing, Oakley, and Mo Cheeks. And then your second guard position, which has been up and down all year, comes in major with a big point day for you. And then Newman running around doing his usual. These 2 positions are getting points for you without any plays being run.
Reggie Lewis driving in for the hoop. You'll see that Phoenix-Utah game 5 in its entirety. Johnson fouls Tucker and he goes to the line. So Boston Celtics season will end and the Knicks go on to play the Detroit Pistons in a series that'll start Tuesday night at the Palace. As we had mentioned earlier, the Knicks lost all 4 games against Detroit this year. See any change in the playoff?
That doesn't mean a thing. Mainly because of the way that Detroit ended the season. I knew they blew out Indiana, but let's face it, a year ago, Detroit was 0-4 with the Knicks. So you just don't know. I think it'll be up in the air. The main thing will be, can Mo Cheeks keep the ball club under control, and can Oakley and Ewing get their major minutes like they did today to set the tone physically.
Dennis Johnson with a 3-point basket. 119 to 112 with 34.7 seconds to go. The Celtics have to foul, and they do. Well, in Boston here, they still have their Bruins, because they're leading in their series 2-0, even though the Celtics season heading for an end. But in New York, they're going to be talking about the Knicks as the series begins.
See, the pressure are on the Knicks right now from now to the end. Last 35, knock in these foul shots so that the other end of the floor, you don't have to worry about them hitting the big 3-pointer on you and then stealing the ball. But one thing we know about the Celtics, they do not have good full-court pressure because of slowness of foot, and they are not what we would call a trapping team. So within this last minute of how we have been playing, as long as the Knicks just keep knocking down their foul shots, everything is fine.
And you know they're not going to foul or be close to that.
Main thing you tell your team is don't stop the clock.
Joe Klein. Bird inside, still fighting, draws the foul. Bird now looking for his 30th point. Ewing committing the foul. You know, sometimes you just can't worry about things when the instincts tell you to go after it.
Well, Patrick all day has been chasing every shot, trying to get a hold of it.
Gerald Wilkins, the new father. Dennis Johnson goes out of the game, but Gerald Wilkins, the new dad, plays a big role, and the crowd gives the Celtics an ovation. They have been terrific fans here over the years, and you know they are really vehemently in favor of Boston, but they have always had that feeling for teams that have won, like the Lakers, and in this case the Knicks and Philadelphia earlier. Johnny Newman. Double dribble, turns it over. Larry Bird goes out. 31. This was his year back after the injury year. He'll feel even better next season. Patrick Ewing goes out for the New York Knicks with 31 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, and 4 block shots. Well, they finally did it. The jinx is over. 26 straight victories by the Boston Celtics comes to an end, and the New York Knickerbockers become only the 3rd team in history to overcome a 2-0 deficit and win a best-of-5 series, stunning the Boston Celtics 121 to 114. Tim Brandt.
Patrick, can you put it into words, ending the streak, winning Game 5 right here in your hometown?
It's destiny. It's destiny. It feels so good. Everybody has counted us out. You know, we just came together. I think that all the controversy and everything that our media have been saying about us just light a fire underneath our butts, and we just rose to the occasion.
You had 4 after 1. You ended up with a big game. What was it that got you off track?
Well, I'm not ready to go home. That was it.
All right, Patrick. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dick, back to you.
71 points in the second half for the New York Knicks against Boston. A tremendous effort, and our Miller Lite player of the game is Patrick Ewing. A fantastic effort today, and on his behalf, Miller Lite will donate $1,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. And so for Hubie Brown and Tim Brandt, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from the Boston Garden, where the Knicks have eliminated the Boston Celtics. The NBA playoffs continue next week, and CBS Sports will once again be along with doubleheader coverage both days. But starting up next, it's the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz in the deciding Game 5.
NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.